Staunton is doing even more to go green. Last night, City Council voted to apply to the Virginia Municipal League's Green Government Challenge. Also, the city is implementing 3 green policies. They deal with vehicle idling, green building standards, and employee transportation. And joining us now to discuss the city's green efforts is Staunton's Deputy City Manager, Jim Halles. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Bob. Happy to be with you.
Now, how significant is applying for the Virginia Municipal League's Green Government Challenge?
Bob, I think it has a couple of significant points. One is the city wants to do all we can, all that is possible to save resources and to reduce our energy uses and save taxpayers' dollars. The second thing is we want to show some leadership to the community and those around us that we are also on board with this type of thing, that it is important, and we're practicing it. We hope others will as well.
Now, let's talk about some of the new policies, 3 of them, in fact. The policy regarding employee transportation benefits, explain that a little bit.
Well, one of the things we're trying to do is encourage our employees to use alternative methods of transportation, either to bike or walk, perhaps to use public transportation. What we have is limited, but some folks may be able to access it, and also maybe to carpool. And by maybe giving some incentives for carpooling, we can encourage people to do that and save them some money as well in these tough times.
What type of incentives?
Well, primarily what we're looking at is if you carpool and have 2 people riding with you, you've not used one car, or 2 cars I should say, you're using one, and we would then give you a break on the parking pass cost on a monthly cost.
All right. Another policy dealing with cars, vehicle idling. Was the city having vehicles idle for 15 minutes at a time, or what was going on with that?
Well, of course, there are occasions when our crews work out on the streets, whether they're police, fire, public works, etc. And sometimes people will just not think about the importance of turning the vehicle off. Every little bit helps. If it's not important to the job they're doing, if they're not running emergency lights or signage or something else off of that vehicle, we encourage them to turn it off immediately and not use it, saving energy and taxpayers' dollars.
And the third policy has to do with green building standards. Explain that a little bit.
Well, many communities are already using LEED standards, and basically that incorporates design and other functions of construction into the building project, whereby you use materials that are locally produced, you use design techniques that reduce energy usage, you use materials that don't have as many toxins that come off them in the buildings, green roofs, other standards of that nature to fully green the building. And our intention is that when we build new buildings, municipal buildings in Staunton, we will build to green standards. Are there any new buildings planned for? These are for strictly, we're talking about for Staunton government buildings, right? These are Staunton government buildings, and right now at this moment we don't have anything planned, but you know, those things can change, and we want to be ready for the future.
And is there any promotion of renovation or improvements to existing buildings?
Well, certainly, yes, the LEED standards do apply also to major renovations of existing buildings, and there are techniques and again, designs that are more appropriate to save energy and use materials that are more environmentally friendly or sensitive.
Tell us about some other programs that you're doing or plan to do.
Well, a couple of other things we're doing, and we're actually doing several things, but we're trying to get information out to our employees through an internal intranet site as to the practices and policies that we're implementing and how they play a role in that, and also give them tips on how they can, on their daily lives, save energy and promote better sensitivity to our environment. We want to do the same thing with our intranet site or website and our cable TV channels, so that the public in general can see what we're doing, be informed, maybe encouraged to do something themselves, and promote things through tips and uses of environmental practices. So we hope that we can encourage everyone in our community to go green.
All right, very good. Staunton Deputy City Manager Jim Halles, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome. Have a good evening, Bob.
All right, and now let's send it back to Mel.